everyone, it's Lucy from KBeautyHobbit.com. It is time again to talk about fails and faves of this month. These are in no particular order, and not everything was new to me this month. It's just stuff that I've been using this month and is just kind of top of my mind as I thought about what to put in this video. Let's start with a fave. This one is so popular, suddenly everybody's talking about it. I'm not sure when the product came out, but I've acquired it right around Christmas time, but I've been really busy and I just recently started enjoying it. This is the Dr. Ceuracle Kombucha Essence, and it is such a fantastic product. And it's interesting because I see both people with combination skin like mine praising it, and also people with dry skin praising it. I can totally see why. So it has kombucha in it, it's ceramide, some other ingredients like safflower oil, but even though it has oil in it, it's not oily or greasy at all. Before use, you have to shake it, and just look how beautiful it is, like even before I shake it. So when you shake it, it combines the watery layer and this nourishing layer. This color here always makes me want a coffee because it just looks like a latte. Perfect color, so beautiful. And the brand says you can do one layer of it, you can do 2 or 3, and that if you do 3, it almost works like a moisturizer. I still seal mine in with an occlusive layer. I've been using this in the evenings after first treatment essence, or you can do it right after cleansing, or maybe after a very watery toner. I use a Misha first treatment essence before this, and then this, and it's just lovely. Like a hug to the face, just so hydrating and nourishing and amazing because it's been cold and dry and my skin's kind of freaking out a little bit. I'll put links for everything in the description box, and for some of these I already have reviews out on my blog, so I'll put full reviews in there. If you want more information, you can read those. I also list all the ingredients at the end of the reviews, etc, etc. In the video, there's just no way I could put all that information for every product. We will be here forever if I do that. Here's kind of a fail, I'll explain. This is a Whamisa cleansing oil. You can see I'm a little more than halfway done with this. It's actually not a bad cleansing oil, and unlike a lot of Whamisa products, it's not too overly scented. It works well at removing sunscreen and other oil-soluble impurities. The reason it's a fail for me is because it irritates my eyes. So I can't use it on days like today. I have eye makeup on. Normally on a day-to-day basis I just wear my high mesh mascara, and that comes off with just water, but if I want to take off eyeshadow and eyeliner, this anywhere next to my eyes makes my eyes sting, and this happens every single time. I've tried keeping my eyes closed better when I'm using it, and I've tried doing it with different makeup brands because sometimes it's the makeup as it melts that irritates the eyes, but no, this just does it every single time. So the only time I can really use it is if I'm not wearing any eye makeup and just have to avoid the eye area in general. Of course, I wear sunscreen there, so typically I try to oil cleanse my eyelids in general, regardless of having makeup there, but I can get away with kind of a little bit getting around there if there's no actual makeup to take off. So I don't want to throw it away. I try to give it away to one of my friends who doesn't wear eye makeup, but she doesn't like cleansing oils, so I am not wanting to waste it. I'm using it on my face, and when it was warmer I used it on my body to get rid of body sunscreen. Right now I'm not wearing any body sunscreen. It's been super cold. I'm wearing winter coats, but that's a good tip. If you have an oil cleanser or a cleansing balm that is not working on your face, you can definitely try it to take off body sunscreen. But yeah, not really a fave. Definitely will not be getting this again. A total fave is this Haruharu cleansing gel. And the Haruharu Wonder line, a lot of it has a pretty pronounced lavender scent to it, which some people like and some don't. But this cleanser does not have a scent, and it's just wonderful. It's a clear gel. It does a great job as a second cleanser. If you're somebody who washes their face in the morning, which I'm not, but if you're a morning face washer, this could be a really good morning cleanser as well. Absolutely not drying and not irritating. My only complaint is it's kind of small. This is 3.4 ounces, which I guess it kind of makes sense because on the back it says that you have to use it up within 6 months of opening. So with that short-ish shelf life, it probably makes sense to not make it super huge, but I still wish that this was a little bit bigger because I think most cleansers that I have are a little bit bigger volume-wise, but that's okay. It's still a great cleanser and I'm really happy that I have it. This one is kind of a fail again. Kind of because maybe somebody else would have a better time with it. This is the Etude House Power Eyelash Ampoule. It's supposed to make your lashes grow better. It has this little applicator, which is actually kind of neat. It's soft. You apply it like mascara first, and then you take that little ball tip and you put it on like eyeliner, and you can use it on the eyebrows and on the lashes. The reason it's kind of a fail for me is because I just can't find a place for it in my routine. I mean, okay, at night is when I would use it, maybe before eye cream, but it's not a habit for me. I usually don't have a step there, so I keep forgetting to use it. It's a little bit confusing because it's oil-free, so it should work with eyelash extensions. I know that people who have extensions, I'm obviously not one of them, they can't really put oil there, so maybe that's a great benefit, but typically products like this have castor oil, which doesn't necessarily make your hair grow better, but it coats it and make it look thicker temporarily. I have made an effort to use this more consistently, and I don't see any benefits. I mean, it conditions the lashes probably, so if your lashes are very abused by makeup or maybe false lashes or some sort of other mistreatment and they're dry and maybe they're breaking because of that, this potentially could help with that. But as far as making them thicker, longer, or anything like that from my personal lashes, I haven't seen any benefit at all. This one is a huge fave, and I almost feel bad recommending it because it's so spendy. It is so spendy. I got it as PR, and I'm not sure. Before I was a blogger, I'm not really sure that I would feel okay parting with this much money for one product, but now that I've tried it, it's really, really amazing. This is Iope Stem 3 Ampoule, and the reason that I picked it, so it was PR, but I was able to choose the PR from the shop, so I picked it because it promised to make me look like I had 3 extra hours of sleep at night, which would like total to a whole 5 hours of sleep for me. The cool thing is, and this took me way too long to figure out, but when you twist the lid and this pops up, it automatically fills up the dropper. So it looks like this. And it's just this wonderful, nourishing but not greasy ampoule that has anti-aging benefits. And again, I have a lot of information about this in my review that I'll link so you can read more about it. I'll just say here that I love it. I do think my skin looks better. I do think I look well rested. I'm not sure about the whole 3 hours of extra sleep, but I definitely look more human when I use it than I do without it, and I love it. I just wish it were a little bit cheaper. On the other hand, though, I've been using it pretty often, and I don't know if you can see that, but there's not that much of it gone because it just doesn't take that much per application, so maybe it's actually not a bad value. It's good for 12 months after opening. It'll probably take me many months to finish it, so it's good that it has a good shelf life. The bottle is glass, which always adds a little bit of this luxury sense to my skincare experience, and I definitely enjoy that aspect of it as well. This one here isn't so much a fail as it's just kind of a useless product, and I really try to like it and I just can't. It's just not fitting into my routine. This is the Cosrx Cica powder. It's literally a powder that you're supposed to add to other skincare products to make them more soothing. And I can somewhat understand if Cica was some kind of rare ingredient and maybe you would have a hard time finding a toner, a lotion, a cream with it, and you would want to buy it separately and mix it. Although, while I'm not a cosmetic formulator, I do kind of wonder if you could just add stuff like that. I mean, things are formulated a certain way to be effective, and can we really mix stuff in our palms and have it still be effective? I'm not sure. But regardless of all of that, Cica is actually a very common ingredient, the Centella asiatica. It's in a lot of things, and Cosrx makes wonderful products with Centella already included. In the same line, the Cica line with this white and green label, they have a wonderful serum that I love that works so well. So I don't know about this, and I'm going to make a mess here. Well, I'm going to try not to, but look at the nozzle. You see that? It is not really a nozzle, it's just a huge hole. and the powder spills right out of there, and there's no way to make it very precise or mess free. So I always end up getting way more out than I intended, and I've tried using it. I have some irritation on my legs, so it's kind of nice to potentially be able to add this to a large volume of cream and just slather it on there, but it just, I don't know. It's just not working for me. There are many, many products with Centella already in them that work for me. I used to really like a similar product that was vitamin C powder, but it had a little scoop that you could dose. But even that one I had a hard time finishing before it went bad, or before it never went bad, but the date on it, the use by date, was approaching. So I just prefer things that are already formulated. Everything that I need is already there, and I can just use the dropper, the pump, the squeeze, whatever, just dispense whatever I need and apply it and be done. Here's a huge win, and it's so wonderful for the winter for people with combination skin, but probably dry skin as well. And it's I'm From Honey Serum. I've had it more than once. It smells lovely, and even though it's called a serum, it has a texture of a gel. It looks like this, and you can see it's not running, but it's not greasy, and it's not sticky, but it's definitely a lot more nourishing than more watery serums, and it smells just amazing. Somewhat of a mix of honey and some kind of floral scent. I love it as part of my evening routine, but if I were in a position where I still rode public transport or had to be outside for prolonged periods of time, I would definitely put this on in the morning as well, before sunscreen, to really help my skin be protected from the elements as well. It's absolutely lovely. It was also included in one of the advent calendars that I got last year. I think it was the Yes Style one. So definitely, I think it's becoming a popular product. The whole honey line is good. Their cream was good as well, but this serum really stands out. It's the superhero from that line for me. Last but not least, I wanted to like this product so much, but I'm just not, and it's this Touch in Soul Icy Sherbet Primer. It looks like this, and I'll be honest, I have only used it a handful of times because it's just not working for my skin. So on paper it sounds great. It's a silicone-free primer. They advertise it as good for oily skin, and when I think of primers, the main thing for me, well, two things. One, it should be a good base for makeup, right? Hide some imperfections like pores maybe. But two, because I have combination skin, I want my T-zone to stay matte and not shiny. Looks like this. It is very fragranced, but after application I don't really notice the scent anymore, so it doesn't last very long. Looks beautiful, and it feels like a silicone primer would, or very similar to it. I don't love the dip jar. I think a squeeze tube would be better, but I would put up with that just fine if it actually worked for me. The reason that I don't like it is because it makes my skin shiny. It goes on okay at first, but then after a few hours, I just start to gloss over in kind of a greasy way and not a dewy way. I used to, when my skin was really not under control and I was very oily in the T-zone, I used to actually put primers on my skin after sunscreen and then not put any makeup on, no BB cream or foundation, just do a little bit of powder. And most primers would actually keep me shine free for the whole day. The Siam used to make, or probably still make, a really good primer for that. And I expected something like that from this. I tried this under makeup, I tried it without makeup, and without makeup especially, just an oil slick. But even with makeup, I just don't like it. And I don't know what others think. It probably is going to get a lot of good reviews. I'm not sure how authentic they are because it was part of a very big giveaway here recently. And sometimes when people receive things for free, I also got it for free. We are so grateful that sometimes it a little bit skews the review, I've noticed. Not so much for me, just because I've tried so many things. I am not influenced so much by free stuff. I appreciate it, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to like it. But sometimes when people are a little bit newer to that whole thing, they're just very excited to receive something, and then you see this huge influx of positive reviews that maybe aren't really well deserved. As far as non-skincare things go, and I'll try to put maybe like one of those in every video unless you want more than one, I finally read Mouse, both books this month. The reason being, of course, they were in the media because of the Tennessee censor or boycott of them as part of the middle school, I think it was 8th grade curriculum. And I'm ashamed to admit I've never heard of these books, but thankfully one of my friends owns them. He bought them when they came out in the early 90s, and they're wonderful. If you're not familiar, definitely look it up. It's a graphic novel, although I have a hard time calling it that because it's just so much more, but it's written by a son of a Holocaust survivor about his dad's experience in Auschwitz. And the Jewish people are portrayed as mice, the Nazis are portrayed as cats, and then there's some other animals in there, and it's a very good, real story about how this person survived. Not all of his family did, and it goes between the real time, or the real time at that time, of this author talking to his father and learning about what happened, and then the events that actually happened. It's not gruesome. It was outlawed because of, or it was taken out of the school curriculum because of nudity and violence. However, I would say that there are worse things on TikTok than what you can see here, but it's not a light book. It's obviously it's not a light subject, but that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't want to spoil anything. It is 100% worth a read, and if my children were old enough to process that kind of thing, I would definitely have them read it as well. So yeah, if you haven't read it, go ahead. I'll put links for everything in the description. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope this was entertaining, and if you have your own fails and faves, please let me know in the comments. You can find me on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit, on my blog KBeautyHobbit.com, and in my private Facebook group Korean Beauty Fanatics. I will see you in my next video. Until then, please remember to always listen to your skin. Thank you so much.